vacations are great, aren't they? I mean, you just go and sit on the beach and relax and have your favorite beverage and have food brought out to you. In some cases, some resorts, they can be just a fantastic way of unwinding. And I think all of us, when we picture unwinding, we have this palm trees swaying and white sand beaches and blue Caribbean water in our minds all the time. That's why they've become so popular. I think a lot because of our culture, on our work culture here in the U.S. We're so stressed out that when people go on vacation, they just don't want to do anything, and they just want to sit on the beach and have their favorite beverage and do literally some R&R for the next 5 to 7, some cases now just 4 to 7 days. So yeah, beach vacations are fantastic, but we need to address something real quick because this safety and travel thing that I addressed the last video is is causing some issues with where people now want to go, and so we need to get to the facts and travel again. And so here's the facts and travel. If you came to a travel professional and said, all right, I was going to go to Mexico, but now I don't want to go to Mexico because all these things I'm hearing, which again, we're not going to pay attention to reality and statistics anymore because we're going to basically go by what we're hearing in the news and by friends and what we're reading on the internet because naturally the internet's always true. And but nevertheless, people have made up in their mind they're not going to go to Mexico anymore for a while. That'll come back because it's done it before. There's been trends in the past where Mexico travel dropped off because of news, and next thing you know, it's back up again. And so it's going to happen again. But right now, we're at one of those cycles where people are going, nope, I don't want to go to Mexico. I want to go somewhere else because they think Mexico's unsafe. Again, regardless of statistics. So that's what we're having to deal with in our industry. And here's the problem. People come to us and say they want to go to Punta Cana, or they want to go to Jamaica, or they want to go somewhere else for an all-inclusive, but their budget is a Mexico budget because by far Mexico is the cheapest option or the best budget-friendly option for all-inclusive vacations, bar none. You have a wide variety of choices in Mexico to meet all budgets, from high-end luxury resorts that we like to service down to your 3-star, which we don't service because there's a reason why. But you can go to Mexico on about any budget and stay in an all-inclusive resort. Unfortunately, Jamaica, if you go down to a 3-star, good luck. We don't service 3-star resorts in Jamaica for a reason. We don't service 3-star resorts or offer them in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic for a reason. We stay at 4-star above. And if you want to stay at a nice, decent, clean, good service, just good food. I'm not going to say excellent food because you're giving that up by only wanting to do an all-inclusive in those 2 destinations. You're giving up excellent food. And again, maybe that's more my opinion, but I don't think the food is as good in those destinations at an all-inclusive as what you would get if you went to a non-all-inclusive option. But if you want to stay at a 4-star resort for good food, good accommodations, good service, in those 2 destinations, your budget for Mexico is going to have to be raised because Punta Cana and Jamaica by far are not as cheap as Mexico. So that's what we need to address right now. We need to address beach vacations and all-inclusive vacations are great, but when you take Mexico off the table, that's limiting us. It's limiting everybody you go to, whether it's us at H&K or some other travel professional, which we always recommend you use a travel professional. But if you think you can go to St. Lucia or Barbados or Aruba or anywhere down in the Southern Caribbean for the same price as what you thought you were going to get in Mexico, it's just not going to happen. One, because especially when you get outside Jamaica and Punta Cana, your all-inclusive options plummet because those destinations were never an all-inclusive known destination in years past. They're always known for the best beaches, fantastic, beautiful resorts, great views, especially as you get into St. Lucia, food that is incredible. I mean, you could really go down and have a fantastic experience and never even think about doing an all-inclusive in those places. But now, because this all-inclusive trend has become so popular, people are expecting to get all-inclusives in those destinations too, and there are some, but they're not cheap. And especially as we get down the Southern Caribbean, your budget for Mexico is going to have to go way up to get the same level of accommodations in those other places. So that's what I want to address by this. We need to address, which I think I'll address in the next video because I'm going to keep this one shorter. But if Mexico is now off the table and you want to do an all-inclusive beach destination, you need to rethink the budget when it comes to not doing Mexico anymore. And we get a lot of clients, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there getting calls and emails about they don't want to go to Mexico anymore, but they want to go somewhere else for an all-inclusive, but their budget is still a Mexico budget. So when it comes to proper consulting and the truth in travel, we will be very frank and say that your budget for Mexico is not going to get you what you think it will get you in those other places. It'll get you something less. you may have had a budget for a 4-star resort in Mexico or above, 4-star above, but that same budget is not going to get you the same level of accommodations most likely in Jamaica or Punta Cana because overall they're more expensive. So let's address the budget. If Mexico is no longer an option, let's sit down, be realistic about the budget, be realistic about our expectations of what you're going to get in those other places. Or let's look at a non all inclusive option, which again I'm going to address in the next Truth in Travel video, whether we should be revisiting this whole all inclusive phenomenon and maybe getting back to what we think is a better option in most places in the Caribbean or Mexico and well, let's just say Caribbean and Mexico because there's not all inclusive options in Europe or Hawaii or here in the U.S. So, but if you're wanting to have a fantastic experience in the Caribbean, especially, then let us show you why the non all inclusive option may be the way to go. And again, I'll address that in the next video because I'm trying to keep these a little shorter now. So hope that helps. Hope you guys will out there will listen to this and reconsider what you thought you wanted out of a vacation in the way of budget when it's looking at those other places, and understand again you get what you pay for. So if your budget doesn't go up for those other destinations, we need to make sure your expectation level is on par with what you're about to receive, so you don't get there and be disappointed in what you're having. Can you have a good time? Yeah. Is it going to be good? Yeah. But again, let's have our expectations in line before you ever step on that plane, so you come back and say what a great job we did, what a great job the other travel professionals have done for you, and what a fantastic vacation you had because it met your expectation or exceeded it. So again, I hope this helps. And I look forward to the next time where we're going to address the big thing about the all-inclusive versus non-all-inclusive. So stay tuned for that. Thanks. Oh, by the way, whatever you do, do it